go. Okay, so this is my PoL project, and I'm going to start off with a little paragraph and a story. And so once there was an MPX student named Kailey PoL1. She had to develop a number of superpowers in order to succeed in all of her classes. On her journey throughout the semester, she ran into villains, distractions, and difficult situations. But she had to move forward, confront her beasts, and be successful. Here are her superpowers and how she felt about each of them. Also, here are her villains. So, I have 3 villains, and the first one is distractions. For me, at least, I'm easily distracted by things like an iPad, maybe the person next to you. Easy things just that can get you off task, and it's something that I definitely struggled with throughout the semester, but I see progress and I feel like I'm getting better at it. My second villain is fooling around, and that's just, in general, just temptation to maybe do something you're not supposed to, maybe watch Netflix instead of, doing one of your projects. Easy ways just to get off task and get ahead of yourself and then be behind. And then the last one is probably the one I'm most guilty of, I call it the late leech. And that's because I'm guilty of a lot of my work is late sometimes, and that's usually because I tend to throw time management out the window and just say, I'll do it later, and then it comes back to bite me. So in order to get through the semester, I had to use my 5 skills in order to defeat my villains. Okay, so my first superpower was being adaptable. And this semester, I feel like I became more adaptable to different situations, hiccups, and just changes that were being made. This concept definitely came over time. I wouldn't say that I conquered it in the first few weeks. I would say it came more towards the end of the semester, and that's okay because it takes time for things like that. For me personally, I found that being adaptable is a difficult thing. Sometimes you feel like your way is the best and the only way to do something, but I found that stepping away and taking a look at others' ideas and concepts is really important, because then you can you're being more creative and opening yourself up to different ideas. For an example for this is Max and I had to call different restaurants for information about tilapia, and some of the restaurants didn't even pick up, and some of them said they didn't tell us all of the information, especially the information that we were looking for. So we had to move on, and we had to keep calling different restaurants, which is kind of stressful, and it took a long time, but I think it was worth it. And doing this, being adaptable, can lead you on to bigger and better solutions, I believe, such as maybe if you see a problem and you don't see a possible solution, by maybe asking a teammate, you can help find a solution. And I think that if we can learn to adapt and compromise, then we can really think out of the box with our teammates. Okay, so the second one was working with a team and collaboration. So another skill that I had to develop this semester was working with a team and collaboration. To this day, I feel like there are still a few things I need to do in order to master the concept of working as a team. But from when we first started assigning our team to now, I feel like I've improved vastly. First, I needed to work in general. And have an idea to work with and as a team. This meaning I put others before myself and remember that I can easily affect every other teammate I work with. In MPX, we have to do a lot of teamwork and collaboration, meaning no one gets left behind. Not only in our year-long group, but in separate projects, brainstorms, activities, and field trips, I think that working with your peers is crucial in order to fully get the academic impact of MPX. For me, it took a lot of trial and error. Finding out what works and doesn't work was really crucial in order to master teamwork and collaboration. I also learned that there will be conflicts, and that's okay. You just have to figure out what you can immediately do to fix it and then move on in order to not do it again and learn from the experience. Even if that means one of us has to compromise in order to do something a little extra. Personally, I think I can still understand more about teamwork in the future, but I think that I've mastered a little piece of it so far. My third superpower is working with power tools, and I think that it was definitely something I didn't have experience with in the beginning, but I would say that working with the tools was probably my favorite part, or one of my favorite part of the whole MPX semester, because I've never had any experience besides the occasional helping my dad around the house. And not only did I learn how to improve and use the power tools, but I learned how to use them safely, which is really important. There's a big amount of responsibility and trust we have to carry in order for the teachers to let us use the tools, meaning we need to not mess around and stay on task and focus on building. I learned that you have to be careful and not break the screw because the drill bit, because I did that once and I felt really bad, but I had to step back and realize that it was an accident and I have to learn from it and just not do it again because what's in the past is in the past. I can't go back and fix it. Also, I think that using power tools was super fun and it added to us learning more real world stuff in MPX, because if I went the standard route, I wouldn't think that I would be learning how to use power tools. And I think that MPX is more getting ready for the real world because we have to collaborate with, coworkers and all those type of things. So I think it's important for you to get the real life experience. And I think working with tools was important for that. My fourth superpower was taking responsibility. And I think taking responsibility is a big part of being a well-rounded student. It shows a level of maturity, and being able to do things and accomplish them accomplishing them responsibly is very important. Also, if that means you have to push through things that you don't want to do. For example, in the beginning of the year, we had a project where we had to take trash out of the trash bags after lunch, and then we had to sort through the contents and see what wasn't recycled. And here's a short part of my blog response activity. I said, when all the bags were empty on the ground, I was disgusted. My girl side came in and I didn't want to touch it, smell it, or even look at it. After taking a deep breath, I let my nerves out and dug in. So that was an example of me taking responsibility and owning up to what I had to do in conquering the task. I think it's important for you to get over those bumps in the road, not only in MPX, but in real life by taking responsibility. The last superpower was problem solving. And the last thing I'm going to talk is about problem solving. And without problem solving, you can't really get stuff done. Most likely you get stuck without a solution. I learned that being resourceful and asking for help in order to resolve issues and problems you run into while working is important. If you have to ask, don't be afraid, and don't try to figure it out on your own if you need help. Lastly, I think that working outside of the box and being creative is really important while doing that too. Like I said, with resourcefulness, things you can use to help you fix your problem is like using the internet, teachers, or asking classmates, or even going to the library for a book if you need it. So that's how I managed to accomplish my semester and beat my villains with those 5 superpowers. Thank you.
Kailey, very good. What did you have most fun with your POL?
Probably making the keynote slideshow. Yeah.
And what was your biggest challenge with your POL?
Probably getting it under the amount of time because I kept going like a little bit above the time, and I think I just did, but it's fine, you know.
Thank you.